Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the LWN Network. I am Tammy Nation, your host of Headline Hits here every Monday through Thursday, noon Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for joining me today. It is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. Welcome. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. And I want to start off with saying, let's make sure that we keep everybody in our thoughts and prayers who encountered bad weather, storms, and tornadoes yesterday. Ironically, the minute that I hit the kill switch on the show, tornado warnings went off for me. And fortunately, we didn't have any major damage at all in our neighborhood and stuff. So I feel very blessed and thankful. But I know a lot of people in my area through Georgia and the Midwest, the East Coast, did get some storm damage. So let's make sure we keep them in our hearts and prayers. Like I said, we've had a lot of encounters with tornadoes and bad weather lately across this country. And it just seems to pop up out of nowhere. But once again, I'm very thankful. I feel blessed. I was untouched in a major way by all of that. So I'm very thankful. Also, tomorrow is Liberation Day, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. We'll find out what Donald J. Trump had to say yesterday about what is going to occur tomorrow for our Liberation Day here in the great United States of America. Once again, thanks for joining me. If you can, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're still growing the channel. We're still working out some nuts and bolts that we need to get tightened up. And we do have also the LWN News Network that is running 24/7. And we appreciate if you would subscribe to that. Don't forget, we also have exclusively on Rumble our MTV LWN type music channel that runs live 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rumble only on Saturday evenings, where we have a live DJ and you're able to make song requests, have great live conversation. LW and myself are in there from time to time. If we can't make the whole night, at least one of us is in there most of the time. And it really is good, just a chance to kick back, relax, and catch up with everybody, share some great memories of the music videos and the genre that all of us were born in, and just kind of reminisce. So it's a wonderful place for us just to join, kick back, and relax. So let's go ahead and get on and forward with the headline hits for today. The first story that we have up today, Elon came out and said what many of us have been asking for a very long time, questions about certain things. He said in the organization of DOGE, he is going to look into the reasons why so many members of Congress suddenly become rich, accumulating generational wealth over the years in government service. Hallelujah. I think our prayers have been answered. Musk took questions during a town hall in Wisconsin on Sunday, and one individual asked if DOGE had uncovered any connection to the funds of the likes of Rep. Maxine Waters or Senator Adam Schiff via the highly scrutinized USAID, which the State Department is trying to eliminate. Musk explained that the government will often send money overseas, which flows to these non-government organizations, which are the NGOs we talk about here on the LWN network. And he believes the funds end up coming back to the U.S. directly into the pockets of some of these lawmakers. Now, these are big accusations that he's not making randomly. It's not his opinion. Remember, DOGE is digging deep into all the different aspects of the government spending and overspending. And we've experienced what he has shown us, a lot of what is going on. And that is why a lot of these lawmakers are highly upset and don't want DOGE digging. They went to judges to try to block it. Everything's been overturned. And recently a judge said that DOGE can continue doing what they are doing, investigating into these lawmakers. Just the other day, a judge said, yep, he can continue. He's describing it as a circuitous route, Musk explained. He says the money doesn't go directly, but let's just say that there's a lot of strangely wealthy members of Congress where I'm trying to connect the dots of how do you become so rich. Now, members of Congress outside of leadership positions really make around $174,000 a year. And this does raise eyebrows when some of them are worth millions. Rep. Nancy Pelosi, who's been in Congress since 1987, has a net worth of at least $50.9 million, while Quiver Quantitative places her at $285 million, according to Business Insider. Senator Rick Scott, remember him? He's the rep from Florida. He co-founded both HCA and Healthcare and Solantic and is considered one of the richest in Congress. Guess what his net worth is? Just take a random guess for a moment here. $549.91 million. Now Rick Scott, he's been on the forefront of a lot of things, right? But he's not one of the major players that we thought would be that wealthy, that rich. I mean, he's doubling the wealth of Nancy Pelosi. And while it is true that some of the lawmakers did make their personal fortunes prior to coming to Congress, Elon said, there's more than enough evidence to raise suspicions of potential pipeline in money laundering. He said, how do they get 20 million if they're earning 200,000 a year, Musk asked. And he said, we're going to try to figure it out and certainly stop it from happening. So I'm very excited about this. We've been asking this for a long time. We wanted to find out. We have a right to find out. And like I said, Trump's administration, I've said it before, you guys are reading about it. They're trying to bring all the money back into the U.S., back to us from bad dealings, from money laundering, from corruption, and returning it back to the United States of America and we the people. Next up, Trump commuted the sentence of Jason Galanis. He's Hunter's former business partner. And now you may ask why, because that seems strange. He was serving a 14-year federal prison sentence for defrauding an Indian tribe. Last year, Jason Galanis cooperated with the House Republicans and testified during a public hearing corroborating info about Hunter. Not only did the SEC refuse to let him share his information, but he alleges for attempting to share it, the Biden administration ordered he be subject to physical assault while in prison. In 2023, I was physically assaulted by a member of the prison staff. He persisted in physically assaulting me for many months thereafter, and I believe I've been a victim of retribution by the DOJ. I hereby designate and empower the acting director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, Trump said, as my representative to immediately release the person named herein. So basically, he did commute his sentence. President Trump said that many people have asked me to do this. I think he was treated very unfairly. And he said, I looked at the records and studied the records, and he was. President Trump also commuted the sentence of Devin Archer. He was a victim of a crime as far as I'm concerned, so we're going to undo that. So there's two of Hunter Biden's ex-business partners or people that had connections with him that President Trump has released and commuted their sentences. So you got to go to the details of why. It's not like he just randomly did this. And when I first heard this story, it didn't make much sense to me, but as I dug deeper, I understand why he did it. As we carry on to the next story, the Trump administration may pull as much as $8 billion in federal funding from Harvard University as part of its review of higher education. In a press release yesterday, the Department of Education and the Department of Health and Human Services announced a comprehensive review of federal contracts and grants at Harvard University and its affiliates. It's part of the ongoing efforts of the Joint Task Force to combat anti-Semitism. The task force will examine over $255 million in federal contracts awarded to Harvard University and its affiliated institutions, as well as over $8.7 billion in long-term funding grant from federal funding commitments to Harvard and its affiliates. So we're talking about major dollars here. The purpose of the review is to ensure that the university is fully adhering to federal regulations, including its obligations under civil rights law. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon explained, Harvard has served as a symbol of the American dream for generations, the pinnacle aspiration for students all over the world to work hard and earn admission to the storied institution. Harvard's failure to protect students on campus from anti-Semitic discrimination, all while promoting divisive ideologies over free inquiry, has put its reputation in serious jeopardy. Harvard can right these wrongs and restore itself to a campus dedicated to academic excellence and truth-seeking, where all students feel safe on its campus. The development follows the Trump administration's recent decision to withdraw over $400 million in federal funding from Columbia University. If you guys remember that story, we talked about that as well here. It was pressuring the institution to overhaul its disciplinary procedures and bring its Middle Eastern, African, and South Asian studies departments under tighter administrative oversight. Columbia University eventually complied with several of the government's conditions, but the move triggered that left-wing outcry and led to the sudden removal of the university's interim president. Now facing a similar investigation is Harvard, and they're going to have to decide how far it's willing to go to protect itself with these federal resources, if they're going to comply or not. Next up, we have Rose Garden event. Tomorrow is, as I said at the beginning of the newscast, Liberation Day, as President Trump has called it. In honor of it, the president is going to announce his reciprocal tariffs on Wednesday, tomorrow, or Liberation Day, in his administration's first Rose Garden event of his second term. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced Monday that Trump will make his much anticipated tariff announcements in that Rose Garden. She said the cabinet is going to be here for the event. It will be our first Rose Garden event of this administration, Leavitt told the reporters outside of the West Wing. The president will be announcing a tariff plan that will roll back the unfair trade practices that have been ripping off our country for decades. He is doing this in the best interests of American workers, she said. When asked how many countries would be hit with the reciprocal tariffs, Leavitt said that the president would announce the specifics on Wednesday. She said, "I'll let the president get into the specifics of the announcement, but he has a brilliant team of trade advisors, and the vice president also has been deeply involved in these conversations." Leavitt also underscored trade imbalances when asked if countries that are facing reciprocal tariffs could take action to stave them off. And we know Trump has talked about these tariffs on and off and trying to explain to us how he just wants equal tariffs. And a press conference yesterday, he talked about in the Oval Office when he was signing EOs, that it is going to be kind, it is going to be fair, that we have been getting hit hard by tariffs for a very long time. It's been very unbalanced, very unfair, and he wants to balance that back. And even though people are skeptical of it, I can agree with that. I think that it's a wonderful idea, even though there may be some rough spots, and we talked about that here as well. Nothing when you make change is ever completely easy, and some people are going to hit by it. But the way the Trump administration has been working now, if you look at the overview of what they've been doing, in my opinion, it has been to the betterment of America and American citizens, and compared to what we've been dealing with before. Next up, we have, in case you missed it, the United States Department officially notified Congress that USAID is being shut down. I had a story about USAID a little bit earlier. The 4th District Circuit has cleared the way for Elon Musk and DOGE to continue to dig deeper into USAID to expose past and present corruption. And to me, that is a win for transparency. We know that these judges have been trying to slow up and blockade or just eliminate Trump's administration being able to dig into these different aspects and tentacles of the corruption and showing transparency to the American people. Everywhere that DOGE starts digging and then starts exposing, we have seen that it has been a negative effect on the American people over the years, and they are turning it into a positive effect for us to be able to gain trust in our government again, which we don't have. So all of these people that are trying to suffocate it and put it under the rug are losing their battles. And you have to ask yourself, why? Why are they trying to blockade this? Next up, we have one of the EOs that President Trump signed yesterday was regarding the sale and resale of concert tickets. And if you didn't see it, check out plenty of video out there, because Kid Rock was in the Oval Office standing next to the president as he signed the EO, explaining how Kid Rock has been fighting for the working class to be able to afford and get their hands on tickets for shows at the sale price with no major upcharges or bots getting a bunch of tickets and selling them at ridiculously huge prices. And mind you, none of the artists get any of that. The upcharge on all these tickets from scalpers, they get the money. So Kid Rock is, if you've followed his career, you know that he's done $20 tickets for the working class. He's done special concert series. He says he wants, and he's been fighting for you and me and our families to be able to go to a show, get some entertainment, and it not cost an arm and a leg or any more than that. So for the last 10 or 20 years, Kid Rock has been fighting this battle, saying the working class should be able to get to see a show and not pay these ridiculous prices. So Kid Rock and President Trump signed an EO. President Trump did with Kid Rock there to put an ease on these ticket prices and get rid of the scalpers and hold them accountable. So that is a really cool thing. I thought that Kid Rock's outfit in the Oval Office was pretty amazing. And it was kind of funny because there was a reporter that got up, I think it was Peter Doocy, and he said, President Trump, I don't think you've had anybody stand next to you that looked like wearing an outfit that looked like he was going to be shot out of a cannon. And it was really a cute moment. And I love how with the president, even though there's so many serious things going on, so much that he is battling, he still keeps his sense of humor, and he can be serious. He can deal with world leaders, or he can hang out with Kid Rock in the Oval Office and sign great EOs like this that are going to benefit you and me and our families being able to enjoy shows again. And then this is going to trigger some people for sure. The Interior Secretary Doug Burgum said that he certainly believes there is room for President Donald Trump to be on Mount Rushmore. Burgum spoke with Laura Trump, Trump's daughter-in-law, on Fox News. She is a host of a show, as Trump signed an executive order that gave the Interior Department Secretary the power to determine if monuments, memorials, or statues removed during President Joe Biden's administration give a false reading of American history. So once again, Trump is investigating all that, his people, because we remember how people were vandalizing these statues that have been around for a long time. They were tearing them down, spray painting them, doing all kinds of awful things. But Laura Trump asked Burgum directly, the Department of Interior is in charge of the National Park Service. The National Park Services is in charge of Mount Rushmore. A lot of people wonder, will we ever see President Trump's face on Mount Rushmore? And what do you think? Well, they certainly have the room for it here, Burgum said. So a lot of people are not going to be happy with that. A lot of people's heads are going to be spinning over that, especially when we had the story yesterday, and it's been making rounds that it is a possibility that Donald J. Trump would be able to run for the presidency again. There's methods to do this, but we talked about how he said, I'm not ready to talk about that. I am going to take care of business that is going on now. And so with the two stories 2 days in a row, I don't think that the left is very happy about things that are being disclosed between the money they've made, being held accountable, with the theory going around that Trump could run again and become president again, and now with him being on Mount Rushmore. So a lot of reasons for them to be concerned, let's just say. I think that their party is in rough shape. There's no direction, there's no formation anymore, and there's nobody in the forefront to lead that side. And instead of trying to get themselves together, they're once again trying to delay Trump's administration. It's not endearing the American people to that Democratic side at all. And they really should just stop pointing the finger at Trump, trying to blockade him, and try to get their party back together again, in my opinion. So that's what I have for you guys today for Headline Hits this Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. Once again, I'll be back tomorrow, April 2nd, and tomorrow is Liberation Day, so I can't wait to see what is going to happen and what is going to be disclosed at the Rose Garden event tomorrow with the different tariffs and with President Trump and what his administration is going to inform us on tomorrow. So with that being said, take care, God bless, make sure that you guys please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will check you guys out tomorrow, noon Eastern Standard Time, right here on Liberty Warrior Nation Network. Bye-bye.